more time walking us through this while you were talking. So like McKaylee, when you were presenting like the who or the how or any of that stuff to show us in the book what you were doing, especially what I missed because we ran out of time was really getting to hear about the people that you had an impact on and that you developed friendships with, both of you, okay? So one of the things that I'm going to give you as a suggestion to help you get your time down is a couple of times you would repeat things that you had said earlier in your presentation. So just look through your cards between the two of you and see if there's any way you can cut some stuff out so that we have more time for the impact part of the equation, okay? A couple other things I wanted to talk to you about really quick. In your paperwork, it didn't, you mentioned in your talk the FCCLA number 5 is what I put in my head, what you guys were doing tying adults to youth, but I don't remember seeing it in here anywhere in your paperwork, so make sure we get that back in your paperwork, okay? Because they'll, looking at this form, they're going to ding you for that. The other thing is make sure in your paperwork you say something about the impact that the project is having both on the residents and you. And impact doesn't have to be necessarily numbers or statistics. It can be a quote from Glenda or now whoever's taken her place.
The quote you used from Irene. Saying, are you coming back tomorrow with it?
Right, that quote would have been great. Are you coming back tomorrow? Put it on paper so that we can see, hey, the impact is they like us coming. They like having visitors. They like being loved and cared for, okay? Then one last idea for you. In your project, you're supposed to have an impact. I would write a little article and put it in the newspaper. Okay. And Mark Steele's really great over at the newspaper. If you write a little article and put a picture with it, he'll find a way to get it in the paper. Maybe not that week, maybe the next week, but he'll get it in there. And I think it'd be great for the youth and the adults in our community to know you guys are doing this. Because maybe more people are like, oh, I'm gonna go do that with them. That sounds like fun. You know, in one of these activity games that you're playing, a picture of something like that. Or invite Mark to come over one day when you go and he'll take pictures for you. But that will help you when you're looking at the points and you're trying to round out this project. Those were a couple of places where you guys, with just a little bit of effort, could really make that fly. Okay? All right. Sorry, Tara, go ahead.
Cool, you did awesome. After being up there and knowing what the judges look for, use your portfolios. When you're talking to the judges, don't be afraid to come over and say, this is what I'm talking about, or, you know, or we planned this, and use your layout to show them. When you're talking about you're going to take them out to dinner, okay, you plan on taking them to Arctic Circle and you figure you've got a budget of $4, $5, you know, talk a little bit about that and where you're going to get the money. Let them know how you're going to accomplish these goals. Also, eye contact. Eye contact, eye contact, eye contact, okay? Put your cards are great, use them to refer to, but don't use them to read. Okay? Know what you're talking about and stand up there and make the eye contact and convince the judges that, hey, this was a fantastic project. Okay?
Don't be scared of the
judges. No, they are your friends. Okay? Confidence in your speech and talking. Project yourself out there. Let them know that you're here to be heard. The awareness with the public, that's something that they're going to judge you on, is how did we get people involved, and so talk about how you got the other FCCLA members and that involved a little bit, instead of, you know, it's you're pulling a chapter and it's a chapter project. Okay.
And that one real quick, Tara. If either of you have like a Facebook or an Instagram account, because you're going to States next week, you could potentially get an article in the paper. It would be due by Monday next week. But you could easily post some pictures and some stories on Facebook and Instagram so that you're increasing awareness, and then quickly get that into your project before you guys head out to Boise. okay? That would be, that kind of stuff, it would show that you're very up to date and modern in your use of technology to spread the word, so to speak, okay?
Yeah.
And then I have one last thing. You guys, I really liked how in your summary plan, you set a goal, and then you revised the goal. And you wrote right in there, we changed it. Like, we started with this, but we changed it. So Blair was saying earlier on, no excuses, right? Do the same thing there to your forma plan. Hey, we had this plan, but we had to adjust it. We didn't realize how difficult it would be to get light black blankets, or we didn't realize how much it was going to cost. So we made some changes to our plan, which now, instead of it being March and April, we're looking at an April, May, and June timeline, and here's how we're going to do it. The best thing that you can show us is that you're learning while you're doing. So you're like, we didn't see that coming. We made a change, and here's what we're doing now, okay? And that, I think, would really impress the judge. I know if I were in Boise judging, that would be really impressive to me. Like, wow, these kids are learning. This is what it's all about. I don't expect the project to be perfect. I expect there to be hiccups, and I want to see how you've adjusted and overcome them. Because it sounds like you have a plan for how you want to do it, or you still want to do it. Show us that. Like, oh, yeah, that happened. Okay.
A couple other things, you mentioned the nursing home and such. The people you're presenting to don't know that we have just 2 of these types of facilities. So I would stick with just this one and don't worry about the other one, or you might give the reason why you chose with this one over the other and then let it be. But you also might indicate about how many the numbers of residents in Spring Creek. Because from Boise, they might think, boy, there's 300. In ours, there's probably less than 30.
There's 7 right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So they can see what that scope is. Because you very well say, we were going to adopt them, and we couldn't just stop there. We had adopted them all. So if they already know that there's 7, 8, 6, 7. Okay.
But yeah,
and if you're off 1 or 2, that's not a big deal. But that gives you.
and let him know by
yeah.
choosing the smaller one, he was able to get the whole chapter involved. You know, let him know that it truly was a chapter project.
But you guys, sorry, I'm very proud of the project you guys did. I think it's brilliant. I mean, I couldn't be more proud of the 2 of you. The comments that the 3 of us have given you is because we want you to go to nationals. We want you to knock it out of the park in Boise. I just think, wow, my hat's off to you guys.
And
you're my heroes today. So, yes, you did. So, I can't say enough. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
Huge need.
We want to see it finished, okay?
Okay.
We want to see the.
Okay, you guys have a little bit of work to do, but I know the 2 of you are smart enough and bright enough to get it done. Even if you have to go to work today, Bowdrie.
You've got a week.
Do we want to just give them our notes and our findings?
I